All right, guys, we are back. Hello and good morning. This is Andy McCann here on Fitness, Food, and Finance, where I'm trying to help you lay a firm foundation in those three things. And man, 2026 can be your year. You literally just have to show up for yourself and the goals that you want to achieve. It's not complicated. It's just not easy. And anyway, so this episode, I really want to dive back into why do we do CrossFit? Why have I picked that? Why do I even care? And the easy answer, the spoiler of it all, I'm going to go through a bunch of reasons, but the spoiler of it is CrossFit is the biggest hack in health and fitness that I have ever found. If you are short on time and your goal is to become harder to kill and look good naked, then man, this is it. CrossFit will do it. You just simply show up. It's also going to help in the 5 pillars of health and fitness: how you eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. Eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. Yeah, that's 5 of them. It'll kind of like, if 1 is none and 2 is 1, the whole idea of preparing. This will allow you to do multiple things at one time. Do we have it perfect? No. Is CrossFit Garage perfect? No. It's a bunch of people that run a thing that try to do a thing for other people and help you grow. And because every individual piece is a person, everything's going to be a little bit different. Not everybody coaches the same. Not everybody moves the same. Not everybody's goals are the same. So this will come out afterwards probably, but we're going to have a conversation with the coaches about different ideas in programming. I asked some of the long-term members, hey, what do you think? What would you like to see? And so forth. The problem is everybody's ideal of awesome is different, and I just can't do all of it. So I've got some that say I would like more programming to fill the hour fully up. And then I've got other people saying I wish there was less so I could do my own thing or whatever. Then there's some that says I would love to do more cardio. Others that say I would like more weightlifting. Others that say I want, competitive style programming, or I don't know. I want everyone to stretch. So the funny part is, typically when I ask, tell me more, it's not just I want to lift more. I want everyone else to lift more. So the easy solution to get everything, what everybody wants, is we have the backdoor access that you can come in and do whatever you want, whenever you want. You can also stay late or get there early and do whatever you want. So you literally can do whatever. I'm totally fine with that. If you have a membership, come on in, do your thing. But I can't provide that for everyone because it's not what everybody wants. And it kind of leans away from what CrossFit is: constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity. Now, I have added in there sometimes because I know after 20 years of doing this, you can't send it every day. The goal is to hit the intended stimulus through whatever workout you choose, the RX version or the intermediate version. It doesn't matter. Try to hit the intended stimulus or scale it down or scale it up. That's totally fine. But either way, CrossFit is the biggest hack to health and fitness that I have ever found. I still say this when I sign up new people. If you show up 4 days a week and half-ass it and let me edit your food a tiny bit, if you're not fitter a year from now based on the metrics we take and you actually did those other things, then I'll give you times 10 your money back. I have never given that money out because it works. The part that I think most people don't really consider when they're like, oh, half-ass it, is your half-ass will grow to encompass more ability. So I was going to end with this, but I'm going to start with this. So I got a text from one of our members. I had to rewrite it a little bit because it wouldn't fit on the screen. But basically it says, I had a cool CrossFit moment last week. I wasn't feeling my best, but I wanted to come in and at least move. We were retesting, it says related, but it was supposed to be retesting the Chief workout, which is what we did like a couple times throughout the year. And I decided to increase the weight and go at like a 70% pace. Turns out, even increasing the weight and going easier, I PR'd the workout. So I did it faster. So this is exactly what we do. He became harder to kill. Health is achieved and fitness becomes a hedge against sickness. So when he's sick, he's like, I'm actually not that bad off. I'm much better now. So this is the idea of the half-assing it. As you half-ass, it's going to grow. So I don't know, let's say you're doing a workout like this one. He was going to half-ass Chief, but it turns out his half-assing is better than he was 12 months ago. Okay. Yeah, that's the spoiler. That's the end. But this stuff actually works. And that's all I care about. It does the job. If you came up to me and said, Andy, I found something else, it is a better hack to health and fitness, then I would say, let's do it. What program should you choose? Literally, you should do the one that you'll do. It doesn't matter if it's the most perfect, elegant programming ever. If it's boring or you hate it or you just won't do it, well, then it's no good. You need to do the one you'll show up for. So I honestly don't care what you do. CrossFit is for those that are short on time or don't particularly care to stay in the gym for that long. If you could be at the gym for multiple hours and had a good recovery protocol, then yeah, sure, go for it if that's what you want. But I found CrossFit because I was short on time. I wanted to do adventure racing, which is endurance races, and I was a traveling salesman. I needed to come up with a way to get my health and fitness on without, like when I was home especially, without like, being away for 2 or 3 hours. When I was on the road, I could go jog or ride a bike. Well, not really ride a bike. I'd just go jog or do whatever because I'm out of town. Who cares? Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go through a couple things and I'm going to hit you with a couple things that I jotted down and to go through on why we do what we do. Why is it a hack? Why is it the right thing? It's a right thing to do. And how we do it here different at CrossFit Garage. If you are local, yeah, come sure, visit us. Yes, see what we're like. If you're not local, I can't really help you, although we do have garage.fitness online. So garagefitness.online. If you type that in, you'll get to our site that my brother and I have been playing around with. It's still in the alpha stages. You can do stuff with it. We will request your email address because we don't want the bots to spin the AI tool because it costs money. So exchange your email address for that. So yeah, anyway, other things coming up for the gym. There'll be some slight coaching lineup changes. Most of you won't even notice, but I'm going to pop in a bunch more. I'm going to be doing some coach to coach or coach evaluations, which basically just help them work with you guys better. So you'll see a slight change here or there, nothing big. And then we do have things that are coming up. Let me see if I can see that and read them off to you. So January through March, we're going to add in a bit more skill practice. So you're going to see things like, hey, bar muscle ups is going to be on a Thursday workout. So Monday and Wednesday, we'll probably have some bar muscle up work like we did, probably 4 years ago, specific practice through the spring to get those skills back up. Okay. Also in January, I'm going to add in a couple more intentional 3-rep max lifts and edit a few things. Like we had a deadlift day. I changed it to deadlift bench press day so you guys can superset and go back and forth. So what I want to do is create some more markers for January. So next January, we can hit those markers again and see where you're at. I'm also going to add in these 3 workouts we did from the Gym Resolutions Worldwide WOD. It's Grace, Helena, and Karina. So it's basically Helen and Karen, but they're just a little bit different. We will be doing some endurance work with Josh on the 31st. So he is pushing into things like high rocks and other stuff like, hey, what can we do to help endurance-y people? Really, it's just CrossFit, but it's also nice to meet other people who like these sports and like training long-term. So he's going to bring those people together. Coach Matt is doing the Heartbreak Regatta or Ergata. I don't know how you say it, but it's a row thing. That'll be February 14th. And then we've got the CrossFit Open, of course, so we'll be doing that. It starts on the 26th, and then it's I think Friday we'll do it. We've got an adventure race, the Oak Mountain Adventure Race a bunch of us are doing, the Savage Race, all in March. And there was something else going on in March, so now I'm forgetting. Anyway, so I'm going to add in also some 5Ks, so you can run, bike, or row a 5K. We'll do that 3 times, so pick the one you want, and then go out and do it. At the gym, it'll be something like run a 5K or a 10K or 20 minutes of, and so that way you're done around 20 minutes or maybe 25 minutes or something. And then on the 14th of April, we have the True Challenge, the old Festivus for the rest of us. And then on the 27th, we'll do Bring a Friend. And then we do the gym party at the McCann Zombie Compound, either I think it's Friday, June the 13th. Friday, June the 12th or Saturday, June the 13th. I'm not sure which one we're picking. But anyway, so those are some of the things coming up. Let's see here. I had a couple more pieces to talk about. Oh, there's the Fire Breather Endurance Class, Saturday, January 31st at 10 a.m. About 60 to 90 minutes with Coach Josh. The Heartbreak Regatta with Coach Matt on February 14th, Saturday. I'm going to try to get a bunch of us to do some more of the games. We have a D&D group. We have board games. We haven't really gotten the board game group going. We do D&D more often, but it looks like Woodstock is doing a thing on the 28th. So hopefully get some folks there. And I already told you the True Challenge or Festivus. So we can sign up for that. I need volunteers and you guys to sign up because it'd be fun. There's our D&D group and some board game group. Oh yeah, so we're also a bunch of us are doing some of these adventure races or trail races. So if you're into that, let me know. You can join us. We still are trying to get our mountain biking on Saturdays. If you have a small business, this is our BNI group, Business Networking International. It's a closed networking group. So we meet on Wednesday at 8 in the morning. If you'd like to come, if you have a business, you can just come say hi. You can visit twice, and all they do is request your email address. That's it. It's a great way to link up with other business owners, to pass referrals back and forth. So if you know somebody that says, hey, I need a, HVAC, there's somebody here. And we know, like, and trust these people. We've seen them do business, and so we refer them out and around. Of course, I already told you about Omar, the Oak Mountain Adventure Race. This is another one that we'll do, which is the Bear. So it'll be in September, and I think that might be it. Yeah, okay. So where should I leave this video? I think I'll leave it right here. Maybe? Nah, I'll put it on CrossFit as I go through the talking points. What are we at? 10 minutes in. All right. I am verbose. Okay, so probably the biggest thing I like about CrossFit is its use of functional movements. It's stuff we're going to do anyway. We're going to squat, hinge, we're going to push, pull, carry. We practice those things we're going to be doing. It has served me super well since 2007. So yeah, coming up on 20 years here to do this stuff. And now being 52, I have to say, without trying to pat myself on the back, not being egotistical or anything, but I'm probably one of the fittest 52-year-olds I know. Most of my friends are like, Actually, I take that back. Most of my friends are in the gym here with us, but I have other friends outside of the gym. I know, that's crazy. And their fitness is suspect. Unfortunately, when men turn 50, we enter the drop dead years, and my friends are there. So we're hearing stories. It sucks. Do something. This is it. So anyway, this is a great hack. We do the normal things, and it works. The other piece that I like about this is its variation. So it's never like, if you want to do hypertrophy is the model that you would use to just simply be bigger. Yes, it makes you stronger, but the bigger point of it is to make you bigger. This is where people take pictures of themselves, all that. So you'll find CrossFitters that are just as strong, but not as big. It's an athletic build versus a bodybuilding, like large build, okay? So anyway, that the old style of hypertrophy would be you do back and bi on Monday, chest and tri on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday. Of course, the joke is everyone skips leg day. And then you repeat. So you're breaking down the muscle and then building it back up. Super boring. So I love the variation in what we do because I'm never bored. Like I said, it's almost been 20 years that I've been doing this, and I'm still here. I'm still doing it. I guess the other piece, and this goes along with the programming, I do enjoy programming. The problem when I program, or any one person programs, is if they're not specifically like, this is what I do, and I have testing methodology to make sure I don't do it, what you find is you program the things you like and you avoid the things you hate. Just because you're like, who else would like to do that? Just like we were talking about, or I was talking about earlier, some people want to lift more, some people want to run more. It's the same in programming. You're never going to dial it in directly because you'll always skew to your own, enjoyment or the things that you think people like. So I hate Turkish get-ups, but some people really like them. When I programmed, I would never program it, right? Now, there's some things I can't really program very well for the gym because people would avoid it. So if I don't tell you why we're doing a 5K, I know most of you won't even show up, but it's going to appear. We want to track that metric. I know, and you're like, dude, that sucks. Yeah, sorry, we're going to do it. Okay, so I like the variety that you get. Again, constantly varied, not random. The next piece of CrossFit that really is the linchpin in all of it is that intensity is the secret sauce. So if you don't move with intensity, then it does do less for you. Now, I'm saying you can't be intense every day because it's hard to bring it every day. So I would say a relative intensity. Also, if you were to just go for the intended stimulus, let me pull that up here. Workouts. Usually we post these. Yeah, here we go. So we'll write it right here. So let's see, the Sunday, January 4th. Yes, we are. There's a workout. There's a warm-up, and then the intended stimulus. The intended stimulus for this day says, hey, this should be like a 10 to 13-minute workout. Whoa, Andy, shouldn't I have more? No, that's what intensity is for. If at the end of the 13 minutes, you're not like, that was tough, then you did it wrong. Intensity, not weight, not length, not volume. It's intensity. It's a hard thing to measure. And it's crazy. Most of us in the gym aren't even going to get what I'm talking about. I try to have the coaches talk about this every day, but until you care, you don't really care. But it's all about that intensity. So the intensity is the independent variable that achieves most of what we're doing. Now, there is some accuracy and balance that intensity doesn't necessarily go for, but that's just going to be skills and practicing, right? So anyway, intensity is the secret sauce. I know that just by doing what we do, I can go out and run a 3-hour half trail marathon and be okay. I literally have done that. So it does work. So next, another bit that I like about CrossFit is that it's measurable, observable, repeatable, thus keeps you accountable. So we do use the whiteboard, but it used to be you would just literally write it on a whiteboard or in a journal. Now we use Waterify. We track everything there. And the more you track, the more you're going to get the benefit of seeing how I'm doing in the journey that I'm on. So I like that it's tracked. I know not everybody does, but I mean, I wish they would. Now, another piece of it is the strength is, well, let me back it up. Muscle is the organ of longevity. Therefore, strength is like an anti-aging drug. So we build strength, but not necessarily muscle size. So the mass or the density of our muscle or the recruitment of muscle fiber is going to go up. Not necessarily the size, though, if you change the way you eat a bit, you're going to see that definition a whole lot more. So I like that strength is achieved. I also like that cardio is achieved without giving up strength, and strength is achieved without giving up cardio. So on the two edges, which there's more, but typically people are like, hey, you're either going strength or cardio focused, which isn't necessarily true. You could go gymnastics focused, right? So there's other ways you could do this, but we're greedy. We want it all. And CrossFit will allow us to gain everything slower, but gain everything if you put in the reps, if you're there. I always tell people I shoot for 5 days a week, but 4 days usually is a good number for change. 6 days gets a little bit tough unless you can really dial in your rest. And I definitely would not do 7 days a week because you need some sort of rest cycle in there. Okay. I like also that we train across all the domains. Some of the workouts are super short. Hey, it's a 2-minute workout if you do it right. Like, all right, let's go. And that is a very different feel than like the other day we did like a 24-minute workout or something. It works different energy paths. Also, it works different things in your brain to connect different stuff through your nervous system. So short, medium, long, whatever, we're going to do it. This will prepare you for whatever it is you need to do. We don't necessarily train for just like, I'm going to do a marathon, so let's train long. No, we use that intensity to bring that forward. I also like that there's skill acquisition. So as you get older, your brain is going to decrease in its awesomeness. So your gray matter is going to go away. But CrossFit will actually increase the gray matter in your head. So it'll increase the neuron adaptation of what's going on. So you have to make these connections, whether it's an Olympic lift or gymnastic, it doesn't really matter. You have to make the connections in your brain to get it there. So we practice these skills and you're going to see it in the programming. Actually, maybe I should pull it up and talk to you a bit about that. Yeah, maybe I'll pull that up. But piece that I'm doing, you'll see it when it comes up. It'll say, hey, practice this because these things are coming. There'll also be different little test bits like, hey, 1 minute of push-ups, go, log your number. And we'll pull up those a couple of times. You know, a minute on the bike doing max calories. All right. The other thing I really like about CrossFit is a community multiplier. I am finding people that I really dig. Could I have found them elsewhere? Yes, probably. But it's kind of like if you join a fraternity. Like a bunch of them my kids just went off on a little excursion, and they've got several kids from Georgia Tech that are in Theta Xi. Now, when you narrow it down, you're going to find a very particular person that went to Georgia Tech and wants to be in this fraternity, Theta Xi, a Christian fraternity. So you're going to find very smart believers, which sometimes is hard to find. Typically, as people get smarter, they're like, oh, I don't believe this stuff for whatever reason, right? So as you narrow down the group and join a fraternity like that, you find that a bunch of the kids are very similar. They're a lot like Evan. They're a lot like Jonah. And I can kind of give you the statistics on them, right? Same thing when you join a CrossFit gym. It's going to multiply that community if you join the community that's similar to you. So if you're into competitions in CrossFit and you join my gym, you are not going to find a massive fit. There's probably like, out of, 100 people, there's probably 5 that care anything about competitions. When I mention things like CrossFit Open, most people are like, I don't even know what that is. Or if I mention Rich Froning, they're like, who is that? They don't even know, which is totally fine with me. I don't really care. I do like to push myself and have that fun competition, but It's more about the community side of it. So I know I can meet people that have that same vision in their head. Well, one, because I'm directing the vision of the gym. So we lead with, how can I help? And so most of the people in here have that mentality. Okay, yeah, so community, like I said in the 5 pillars, just a big piece. So we know it matters, and that's a way to get it. Coaching. If you want to be coached, CrossFit is it, right? It's like being on a team. Yes, sometimes there isn't any coaching because it's like, hey, we're just going to go, I don't know, run a 5K. Maybe the coach says, hey, this is proper run form, so there's a little bit of coaching. Let's go. I typically pick a piece. I don't know. Let's say it is running. I'm going to tell you, look, don't let your hands cross the line that you draw down in the middle of your body. So don't let your arms swing across the middle of your body. If you can do that, you become more efficient. If you're more efficient, your running is a little bit easier. There's some coaching. And then I'm going to watch each of you and say, hey, Timmy, I see you're doing what I say. Good job. Hey, Tina, I see your hands coming across your body. Let's try to fix that. That's what we want to do, is help grow you. So if you're into coaching, sweet. If I had to pick what matters more, the programming or the coaching, man, I'd still go with it. Just depends on which one you would want to do if you want to show up. But I think if you have a coach watching you, you're going to get, it's like anything. If you hire a mentor or a, I don't know, I guess a coach, it speeds up the process. So when you have a coach watching what you're doing, it's going to speed you up. For example, if you want bar muscle ups, there's no better way than to practice other than having a coach watch you practice and help you along. So if you want bar muscles up faster, hire one of the coaches to do some personal training. You probably only need like 30 minutes, maybe once a week, 30 minutes over a month, and you'd see a huge amount of an advancement of whatever skill you're trying to achieve. Strength, probably not so much, as long as your form's okay. The skills are what really needs some eyeballs on it. Of course, things fall apart as you go fast, so you have to watch out for that. Another piece, like I said earlier on, I found CrossFit because I needed a solution to my time domain issue. And CrossFit does that. Most of the workouts are going to be 8 to 12 minutes because that rides well with intensity. Once you get out of that, you start pushing just aerobic. So oxygen-driven working out rather than anything else. So we want to mix the anaerobic and oxidative states. So, I'm burning not just oxygen as my fuel. Anyway, I like and it also takes away the excuse, like, I can't do this today. I mean, literally just do anything is better than nothing. And we can do all of our stuff in under an hour. So was it maybe like a 10-minute drive to the gym, do your thing, then 10 minutes home. So you're out maybe an hour and a half and you're stacking health on your side. The other one, this catches people a lot. They're like, wow, these things are always heavier. Or this is always like cardio or whatever. No, CrossFit exposes the thing that you're weakest at. So for example, for me, I am weakest relative to me and what I can do. My weak area is strength. Should I focus on that? No, I mean, everything is pushing me towards being stronger. I guess I could do more, but then I'm going to give up the other things that I have. So I don't want to. I'm just going to let CrossFit do its thing, expose strength as my weakness until it's not. And then eventually cardio will probably be about weakness, right? So CrossFit does a great job of pushing on the pinpoints of whatever it is for you in that workout. For example, I'm looking at the workout right now. Here on the website, it's got back squats and rope climbs. Most people are going to have a real big issue on that rope climb. For me, it's going to be the back squat. So it's a different issue based on who you are. All right, where do I want to go next? Another fun one for me is if you get used to the habit of showing up, sometimes it's simply fun just to be with your people and to show up and be like, hey, I see you guys. I've got a smile on my face. I'm glad I'm here. And that helps a lot. So it takes away from I've got all the stuff in my basement that's, half broken or whatever. I could just work out in my basement without any of y'all. That's just not very fun. And I just don't want to do it. The commute's great. It's just in my basement. I have found that the ultimate inconvenience usually leads to people not using it at all. It's kind of like if you give something free to somebody, they typically don't value it unless they paid for it or as if they paid for it. So yeah, I typically will help out people if I need to, like, hey, I lost my job. Sure. That's kind of different. But yeah, when you give somebody something, they typically don't appreciate it at all. Anyway, this is a rule for life. I have found that to be true. I think also a cool thing about CrossFit is it's going to prepare you for when times suck. So for example, we go out and do these adventure races. You run, mountain bike, and canoe to various checkpoints in the woods, and you have a map and a compass, and you go out there and do some, go searching for Easter eggs, as it would be. Many times you run into a situation where this ain't easy. Something has gone wrong, like the weather turned, or piece of machinery, like the bike chain popped off or whatever. So I have found that I perform better with adversity than most people because CrossFit drops you into adversity. Is it CrossFit building that, or is it people that are good with adversity find CrossFit? I don't know. I feel like my ability to deal with the unexpected has grown because of it, but it could be, causal, not corollary. I don't know. Another good one, I say this all the time, is fitness isn't just a skill, but it's a growth pattern. So again, I usually do the rub my tummy and pat my head. CrossFit is going to help you build those connections, and I don't know, it's going to just make you better at the stuff, like the sucky days. It's going to make you better for those things, and just doing awkward things like, hey, do you want to carry this bag of cement up these flight of steps? You're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. I also have people who are like, hey, my metabolism isn't really working right. How do I fix that? Well, one, let's put some stressors and some strainers on it, right? Your metabolism will kick up if you kick up. It's a thing where people will drop down in the calorie zone, like, oh, I'm only eating 1,000 calories a day and I'm not losing weight. Well, that's because your body got used to it. Your body is the ultimate adaptation machine. It's going to adapt to whatever you put it through. If you adapt it to sitting at a desk with your fingers on the keyboard, it's going to go to that, right? If you would go to 1,000 calories for an amount of time, your body will adapt. It'll turn things off inside of you. Hey, my hair is falling out. Hey, I've got gray all of a sudden. Hey, right? So when you don't fuel yourself, you're giving your body permission to downgrade because that's all the food, the nutrition that it has, right? I think the other piece I throw in there, I know I mentioned some competition. It's an optional piece. You don't have to use that. You're still going to get better. I think I'd say, I guess you're competing against yourself, but it's about the effort you put in. So I don't know, you embrace the effort of what's happening, and you just, I don't know, it doesn't feel that hard when you're done with it. Like sometimes in the middle of it, you're like, this is terrible. But when you're done, you're like, all right, that wasn't too bad. All right, let me think of I think I have maybe a couple more things. Maybe I would end this monologue on this part right here. I don't know for sure, and I am not a doctor, but I have a really good feeling that CrossFit is going to allow me not only to live longer, but be more useful or functional into my later lifetime. I see my parents in the immobility they have, the frailness that they have, and I don't see that in me. I don't feel like they look. Now, I don't know, maybe I am. Maybe I'm fooling myself, but I don't think so. I think, again, I'm going to say it like I said in the beginning, CrossFit is the biggest hack to health and fitness that I've ever found. I'll use this post right here. Going back to it, I had a cool CrossFit moment. This is where it's at. I have done races semi-sick and gone pretty good. Actually, I was out racing with Randy, and he's like, could you have gone faster? The answer is, I don't know, but I think probably. We were out racing in an orienteering race. We had 4 sets of eyeballs looking for checkpoints, and we were moving pretty quick. So with him, I probably could have gone quicker, but that would mean he has to go quicker too. I don't know if I could have done it on my own. All right, I got a couple more things for you. What I'm going to pull up here is what CrossFit displays, Wodify displays to me for our workouts. Basically, today's the Sunday the 4th. On the 3rd, they populate the next week's workouts. So I've got the 12th through the 18th. That's all I can see. If I go to the affiliate, actually, I can go there and show you. All right, so if I go to affiliate programming, I can see more. So I know I can look out there and see what's coming. I typically don't look on this sheet too far out just because it gets irritating for my eyeballs. And then I also forget, wait, what's coming up? I don't remember. So if I get too many workouts on my head, some of you guys know this. You're like, hey, Andy, what's tomorrow's workout? I'm like, I don't know. It's because I'm looking at the next week ones. I'm always a week ahead, just trying to plan things out. So here on the affiliate page, we're looking at a week's worth of programming. If I click next, it's just going to show me the following week. So I have the 5th through the 11th, and now I can see the 12th through the 18th. And usually it stops at about a month. So it's now 19th to the 25th. And yeah, so then it's out. So it doesn't have into February 1st. Okay, so the view that I get is right here where it shows me the Wodify calendar, and then I can go click on these to adjust them. Let me go here and click and say edit. You know what? I picked the 12th. I'm going to publish this on Monday, so I'll be ahead of schedule. Let me go back to the 5th. So here's what we did. So we got Monday the 5th is a snatch workout. It's find a heavy one rep for your snatch. I probably would have changed it to a 3 rep. I'm going to do 3 rep, but you can log it however you want. The idea is let's put some boundaries on this, and I'm going to try to do more of these in January for you. Okay, so all that class is going to be the snatch. Your coach should take you through a progression and then let you loose and then be walking around looking at your form and helping you come up with ideas of what to do. Now, do you need to be perfect, and are you going to lift the uber most you could ever lift? Probably not. We're not Olympic lifters, so you don't have to be perfect. And you're probably not hitting an actual maximal for your body type. It's just what you can do now. Yes, you could get rid of everything else you do and just focus on the Olympic lifts, and you will get better. But you'll lose everything else. Again, in CrossFit, we're greedy. We want it all. We'll just take a little bit less of everything. So let's say my theoretical max is 200 pounds on the snatch, which there's no way I could do that, but let's just say it was. As a CrossFitter, I'm probably only going to hit 175. And I'm okay with that because I got everything else that I'm using. I don't care about the ultimate lift that I've got. What I care about is work capacity across a broad time and movement domain. Okay. So anyway, that's what's coming up. On Tuesday, we've got a workout where it's got some various things. I think it's a triplet. It's got plank holds, box jump overs, and farmer's carries. Okay. So we will log that. We got the RX version, intermediate version, and then I'm going to throw in there a test. What is a test? Well, I put in there 1 minute of max push-ups. So look at the clock, give yourself 60 seconds, do as many push-ups as you can. The push-ups should be from your toes, but if you do it from your knees, then just say, hey, I did it from my knees, and don't click RX, right? Then there's some bar muscle up practice. Because bar muscle ups are coming up and we want to get better at them, I'm going to intentionally insert practice. Do you need to practice this? No. Could you just leave? Yes. If you want to stay and practice, perfect. If you're like, Andy, I'm so far away from a bar muscle up, I just would rather practice pull-ups. Perfect. The pull-up is like a first step to the bar muscle up. So most of the time you need to be able to do a strict pull-up or a kipping pull-up before you can even do a bar muscle up. Though there are some gymnasts who will prove me wrong in that. They have a very cool way to get up that I don't understand, and they don't have to do pull-ups, though a gymnast can probably do pull-ups. Okay, the 7th, we've got another, it's a couplet. It's going to be 800-meter run and air squats. Yes, very different. I love this. Would I ever program 800-meter run and air squats together? No, but they did, and I'm fascinated. How's it going to go? So I put a test in there. So the RX version, oh, I didn't put RX. Let me change that. Oh, I already saved it. Nuts. Can I change the name? Edit. I can. There we go. Whoops. So what I try to do is name everything the date and then put RX or intermediate. Save it. Did it work? Haha, it did. Perfect. Okay. So it's got that in there. So it's an 800-meter run, or intermediate is a 600-meter run. And so I have below that test. Add in your best 600-meter or 800-meter. Do you have to go run another one? No, since we just did it, if you knew what it was, you just log it. Or, I guess, rest and go do it if you want to. And then there's some skill work. Practice this. What do you want to practice? We have bar muscle-ups again coming up. These are some things that you could do. Or you could do the GHD instead if you want to do that. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Why did I put the practice in there like that? Huh. Wonder why I did that. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, on Thursday, we got some pre-skill work. So there's this one's going to have a weight bit on it. So it's going to have you doing some power cleans to build up to the bar that you want to use. They are actually, what is the workout? Oh yeah, it's the power clean, one muscle up, and then some echo bike. So this is while we were practicing it. If you can do one, that's awesome. And then it builds up from there. When you're done with that, since we were on the echo bike, go back on there and see how many calories you can do in 1 minute. Do you have to do this? No, you don't. It's just a test. I'm going to put these in there every once in a while. And then our skill work is going to be handstand walk. Why? Because it's tomorrow. We have that in the workout. So do you need to do the handstand work? No, you don't. Or the handstand walk work, whatever. No, you don't. You can do whatever you want, or you can leave early. It doesn't matter. And then on Friday, we have the handstand with knees to elbows. So I know I could have been like, wait a minute. Why didn't we do knees to elbows? Well, actually, I think I did right here. Where is it? Didn't I do that? Is handstand walking knees? Oh, no, I didn't. That's actually another. I'm getting all my days confused. So next week, we've got some toes to bar, knees to elbows practice. Anyway, that's what you're going to see is a little bit slight change in, instead of them saying, actually a good one that I just sort of butchered there was on the skill work on Wednesday. They're like, hey, just accumulate 50 GHD sit-ups. Yes, you could do that. And that's what their skill work was. I left it in there, but I have bar muscle up practice. So if you're interested in bar muscle up, that's what your coach is going to help you with. If you just want to go to do the GHD sit-ups, perfect. It's right there. You can do that. But we're going to put a finer point on that practicing. So because the open is coming and we want to drill down on some of those skills. Other things that we are considering is, do you guys want a gymnastics class on Saturday? Do you want an Olympic lifting class on Saturday? I'm open to it. I'm just not going to force it. And here's the reason. Historically, it never really works long term, and everybody's Saturdays are messed up, and I can't program it like on Tuesday because people's schedules just don't work. So Saturday is typically the best, but I kind of refuse to work on Saturday and Sunday. I work all the time. I'm a workaholic. The kids are out of the house mostly. Evie's still here, but I do a lot of work and I just got to have some forced downtime. So I typically don't do anything on Saturday and Sunday. I am not going to create a class that no coach really wants. If I get a coach that's passionate in Olympic lifting or skills or whatever, and they want to do it, then by all means, I'll put it in there and it's going to be them that has to coach it. Right now, that's kind of tough. Everybody else is like, hey, I'm here 5 days a week. I'd like a day off. So potentially Matt will do it. Potentially one of the other coaches. I don't know, but we're going to look for that. So yes, can we give it to you? Sure. And let me kind of go full circle back around. I mentioned that we were looking at some programming. I don't know what we're going to do or even if we're going to change. I already pay for CrossFit affiliate programming. So if we picked something else, I'm going to absorb an expense, which then of course gets passed directly onto you guys. So it would mean that if we pick something different, the price goes up because we're picking up expenses. I'm already eating the yearly increase on the rent. So yeah, our rent doubled a few years back. And then of course, every October it goes up because that's just how rent works. And I haven't changed our prices. I think we changed them back in August of 2022, and they've been the same ever since. And my goal is to keep them there. Instead, what I'd like to do is add more people. So if we can add about 150 people is, I think, what we could take for what we're doing now. We'd have to open up more classes if we wanted more people or add extra coaches to classes. It just gets a little bit tough to put more than something like 15 people in a class. I mean, at a maximal, I have... How many bars do I have? I have I have 27 bars, but I can't have 27 people working out in the gym unless it was just deadlifts. Actually, I'd run out of weights in that case. Anyway, so we are investigating what do you guys want? What can we do? And then what stays true to who we are? We do not do well with certain groups of customers out there. Well, I wouldn't say customers, people, because they're not our customers. So if you have a massive injury, like wheelchair bound, we just don't really do well for that. If you've got, I don't know, something else that really throws you off the curve, we just aren't set up well to handle that. I don't have specialists. We just don't make enough money to hire specialty people. There's other businesses that take care of that, and we just don't do that. If you are like, I don't know, the top 10% in marathon runners or bodybuilders or competitive, we're just not set up for you. It's not a great fit. We're not here to push people to an uber extreme. Our goal is to help the masses become harder to kill and look good naked. Why the masses? That's because there's more of you. That's how a business works. I find the customer that's coming to us, and it happens to be people like me, which is basically just a mass. I'm just someone abnormally good at recovery, but nothing else. And so that's who we focus on, is just people who are David desk jockey or Holly house mom or whatever, right? So that's our clientele. If you want something more than that, we have open gym and a back door that everyone can come through. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. Or if you're like, I don't know, bodybuilders should never do CrossFit. It's not really designed for that. Although I know some bodybuilders that own CrossFit gyms and they just use it because it's a different way to train. I don't know. They do a thing. Bodybuilding, like sculpting, not hypertrophy. Bodybuilding is totally different. Yeah, I know this is going to be a left-hand turn, but just got me thinking about bodybuilding. One thing that they do is starve themselves so they look better. And I just want to throw that out to you guys. Some of you are like, hey, when do my abs show up? Your abs are there. They're just hiding under fat. You literally have to change the way you eat. The way you change the way you eat is hire somebody like Coach Josiah, Coach Jennifer, or Matt, or whoever else does nutrition coaching. You can hire me, but you're going to hate me. The other way is to just simply log it. Log your food, legit log it. Like everything that goes in your mouth, log it, and you're going to find out the stupid things that you eat. Just stop eating the stupid stuff. That's like the biggest piece of it. But anyway, 2026 can be awesome for you if you show up. That's the biggest one. Rule number 1, show up. Rule number 2, don't do anything stupid today to prevent you from showing up tomorrow, right? So everything revolves around if you show up, it literally is going to work. That's it. All right, guys. Hey, we're here in Woodstock. If you're local, come to us. Come check us out. If you're not local, I can't really help you. I'll help you find a gym if you want. Tell me the closest crossroads, and I'll find a gym that would make sense based on the goals that you have. So I need the crossroads and your goals. Typically, I can find that the CrossFit gym or the one that kind of does CrossFit that might make a bit more sense. Usually, you can look at their website and tell like, oh, this is kind of what they're doing. Now, it's not always true, but it is mostly true. All right, guys, email me, Andy@CrossFitGarage.com. Also, if you have a question and you're listening to this as a podcast, you can throw it in there as a question to Andy. I think there's a clickable link somewhere. Now, it only sends me, actually, it builds it up on a page. I have to remember to go to it. So it's not actually texting me. It just gives me the question somewhere. I'll go look right now. Well, as soon as I click done. Or if you're watching this as a video on YouTube, you can just comment down and it usually lets me know, hey, you have a comment, and I can go answer that. All right, guys, you take care. I look forward to hearing some super awesome success stories.